second. This is DJ J Hall. Damien, that was really cool, dude. You ain't got nothing on me, they call me PT. What? Man, if Sunday church was this fun everywhere.
Yeah. We changed the world.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I've been to some boring churches. And this ain't one of them. You never know what's going to happen. I'm thinking we might need a shorter leash, brother.
Yes,
Dude, that's awesome. Awesome. Fingers like a Disney. I just wonder what some of you were thinking there for a moment. You know, Friends is a unique place. It really is. And we just look around the room, and red and yellow, black and white. This is kind of a, Orlando's like this too, but this is a microcosm of what heaven's going to look like. You know, and it's kind of cool. We get to come here and mix culture. And one of the things here that we're about is not just mixing culture, but it's generations as well. And so, you know, today one of our young people comes up and shares a talent, a gift that God has given with him, and continues to lead all of us in worship. And your sincerity and your enthusiasm for all of our students is it's contagious, and we appreciate you leading us today. I have some really exciting, unusual news to share with you today. Had quesadillas last night. The news I have is better than that. I told you last week that financially the church was up against 2 or 3 things. Let me tell you some things that happened this week. We've been given an estimate of $4,700 or so to fix one of our air conditioning units. And we called in a second company to give us an estimate. And for about $425, we can fix our problem. So that's awesome. I guess with tax, title, and delivery, that's about 10%. Kind of interesting that it's 10%. Then we had an estimate on fixing our bus. To get our bus running, the estimate was $5,897, $5,900 basically. And there were lots of these things listed, and God has blessed us in this fellowship with a couple of guys that work on buses. Not just buses, but that kind of bus. In fact, we have the North American Mechanic Champion as part of it. You owe me $5 because I said it like you wanted me to. Rob is an incredibly humble man, and he wouldn't care that you ever knew that. He's a very talented mechanic as well. And he went down the list of things, and he called me up kind of laughing, like, what is all this stuff on here? We don't need most of this stuff. And so I called back to the company that's had our bus held hostage for a couple of weeks. And for less than $500, our bus will be running and back to us. Now we have some other things that we'll probably have to get fixed, but we can at least get it back. And that's about 10% too. I just thought that was kind of weird. And then last week, it was time for us to receive our offering. And one of our young couples was having a discussion about writing a tithe check, and the conversation was going back and forth. And it's not so much about how much to give as much as it was what are we going to do when it doesn't clear on Tuesday. And oddly enough, this particular week, our person who counts our money didn't get to it right away. Didn't get to it on Monday or Tuesday. Actually did it on Wednesday, which means things didn't post till Thursday. And on Thursday, I got an email from the lady of this couple who said, Pastor Tom, we wrote a check for $180, not knowing if it would clear. And I went to my mailbox, and there was a check for $184 in refund to me for something. And so that's a coincidence too, I'm sure. And then late in the week, most of you probably got an email about a friend of ours who attends church here. His name's Ray. And a couple of months ago, Ray went through some really hard times and lost his wife suddenly. She's very young, 52, 53 years old. And Ray's had difficulty finding work. And I sent out an email, and I sent it to 1,700 people in the East Orlando Chamber of Commerce, as well as to you. And all of a sudden, these people started asking for Ray's help. And, you know, it was one job here, it was a job here, and it was a job there. And he told me, he was in the first service, and he told me that one of the people who called him needs him to put in a suspended cement walkway and pave an entire parking lot with cement. So it's 2 to 3 weeks worth of work. You know, and what I've seen in Ray is a sincerity to pursue Jesus. You know what? God takes care of his people. And it doesn't matter who's in the big White House. It doesn't matter who's in the Senate. It doesn't matter about stimulus packages and bailouts and the market and all that. I'm here to tell you, the best place for you to invest your time and your money is